Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Daily Stock Market End of Day Update. Starting with SPY, you can see SPY, which is S&P 500 ETF. This is daily chart. Coming into a resistance, I draw a trend line here. You can see resistance here, resistance here. Right here, we are around, let's say, around 451. This is where the resistance is. So we can still go a little bit higher from here, around 0.26%. And I also wanted to show you short-term futures of S&P 500, and you can see short term on this chart we are right near the sell zone. Okay, you can see this red line, we are closing right near the sell zone, so right near major resistance. This is where you should be looking to take profits. Do not be too aggressively buying here and wait for a dip. Okay, so we really want to buy when we are in the green line. You can see all this time Tuesday early this week we were getting buy opportunities, and now we are in the sell zone. So this is perfect opportunity to take profit, and you should be looking to exit here. Okay, and if I go to Nasdaq 100, same thing here. It's coming closer to resistance, a little bit lower, but still you can see same thing here. Give you a lot of opportunities to buy on Wednesday and even before, and now this is the time to take profits and do not be too aggressively buying. Now there is a gap around 15701. This is Fitch downgrade gap. We could go there, but that will be around let's say 1.42% away from here. So let's see if that happens. Triple Qs, that gap is around 382, so it's near third standard deviation. And if for some reason we pump tomorrow, usually Fridays are very bullish, and for some reason if you get a pump, that will be a really good area to sell all your positions and wait for it to draw down or go into the green lines. Okay, so still very close to the sell zone, so you should not be looking to take risk trades here. Wait for it to dip. And if I go to daily chart on triple Qs, let me hide these lines. I also drew a trend line here. If I zoom in, you can see here, so it's following this green projection which I have. Actually, I'm going to delete this, I don't need that anymore. So you can see here now I draw another trend line. So resistance is also getting very close to trend line, so it's in this kind of a wedge, and we have to wait for this breakout to happen. Okay, so now there are two gaps here. You can see this gap here around 382, and the other final target is 385. So if you get a pump, my final target will be around, this is around 1.44. If you get extremely bullish move, it can even go as high as almost 2%. Okay, so yeah, so but again, like I told you on short-term chart, we are near major resistance, so do not take extremely risky positions here. Okay, you need to wait for a dip. Dow Jones, this gap is here, so looks like it wants to go and fill this gap. Even on Dow Jones, we can probably draw a resistance here like this, even here, something like that. And you can see the resistance and the gap fill are very close, so it's around 352.72. So from here the thing is around 0.5% away. All right, and IWM now again back on this trend line, so everything is good. So it broke down yesterday, and we actually, let's go to 1 hour chart and see. Actually, I have to go to regular trading hours. We did a gap up. Now it will come back to fill this gap. I don't know when, so just be mindful of that, this green line. But so far we are on very major support here, support here, support here, and then we are trending higher. Okay, so gold miners, let's quickly look at gold. And gold is facing resistance a little bit, or today is flat, but there is still possibility we can get a little bit bounce and then come back. My target is this gap 1870 to fill. And on silver, oh wow, silver right on the support closed. You can see this line. We can actually adjust this slightly here, see if we can make something. Still it's below, but yeah, you can say it closed right on the support, so this is the time you should be looking to buy silver. It's right on the support, and also this is another, you can draw another line here. Let's see, another box here, you can draw something like that, right? You can draw something like that, and it's on a major support. So this is where you should be looking to hold silver, and I think if you can hold it long term, this is a great opportunity to buy. Natural gas holding support. You can see this support trend line very nicely holding it, and this bottom is already in, so it's just consolidating. This is bottom forming pattern, just consolidating, and it's going to eventually pump up. You see this massive move down, probably it's going to go massive move up. I don't know when, but that's going to happen. So if you can hold long term, great time to buy natural gas. UNG is the ETF which you can buy to trade natural gas. You can see here bottom forming, same thing, so it can be ready for a pump anytime. Crude oil, wow, major resistance. It's now on major resistance. This is where I should be very careful. I'll be waiting for a dip. I don't think it's going to go up so in a straight line. So I think this is where it should find major resistance here. And if you are in energy stock, this is where you should be looking to take profits on all energy stocks. Dollar, wow, another pump. That's very interesting. So that's why it looks like gold went down, but it's again in the major resistance area, same like crude oil. So this is where I should be. I'm looking for a little bit of weakness right here. Bitcoin keep pumping higher. I have green dot and green line is above red line, so nothing changed. And there's 32k resistance here, so it can pump possibly. So be very careful shorting this straight move down. It can probably do a straight move up. Okay, so be very careful shorting Bitcoin. Ethereum a little bit weaker, but again on a major support here, and also this trend line. So same like Bitcoin, it's now looks like it's finding support, and it can go to around 2000 from here. Okay, you can see straight move down, it can go straight move up. Alright, let's look at gold miners and other sectors real quick. So let's look at Newmont mine, 0.6% up, very close to 52 weeks low, and this is the major support. Nothing changed. Gold miners, it's going higher, but there's gap here around here, $28. So I don't know when that's gonna fill. If we have a bearish day on gold, it can go as low as 4%. Usually gold miners are very volatile, so any news, it can go fill this gap. That will be great area to buy, but it's not necessarily going to fill this fast. There are multiple gaps on the top as well, so you can decide how you want to trade this. Looks like it's making another secondary trend line here, so yeah, it does look like it's making a secondary trend line, so you can do something like this. I have to adjust this trend line. Maybe I'll do it on a later date. For now, I'll go with this. And let's look at sectors real quick. XLK energy, tech sector going higher, multiple gaps to fill. XLE energy sector, wait for a pullback because looks like oil is too extended. Wait for a pullback before it can go higher. XLV healthcare consolidating, 0.32% up. Also there's a gap here, up here, and there are multiple gaps down. It's in the middle, so I'm not sure how it's going to act, but if it comes on this support line, look to buy, or it look to buy on this gap fill. Utility sector, wow, massive bounce, unbelievable. I was telling others who watch my video regularly, I was telling this is great time to buy. It's in the major buy zone here, and it's bouncing here. So there are gaps here up to fill, so I think it's looking really aggressive and very bullish here. XLI industrial sector here starting to bounce, so that's a good news. It can bounce up to here. I will show you a few industrial stocks. They are really sold off heavily, but looks like there's also a support here. So this whole area is if you can draw, it can still come down a little bit down. So you can see this whole area. So let's see if it wants to come down to fill this gap before it wants to go higher. So we'll see. It will all depend on if S&P 500 goes higher or faces resistance. Real estate sector on the support trend line, this gap here to fill, still not filled, so it can come down, fill this gap, and then go higher. And also there's a gap up, but the good news is it's on this trend line. As long as it's above this trend line, it's a good time to buy real estate sector. And this one is financial sector, bouncing now, 0.92%, good move. Now there's a gap here around 35.34, looks like it wants to fill that gap, so everything is looking good. KRE Regional Bank also looking good. Came very close to filling this gap, but it still did not fully close this gap, so I don't know if it wants to come back or not, but we will see. So my preference will be on KRE is to come fill this gap and then go higher and fill other gaps. All right, and let's look at some of the stocks. Apple right in the support zone, so bounced 0.88%, multiple gaps to the upside. So if this support can hold right here around 174, it can go higher to fill other gaps. Tesla, the only issue I have is this gap. It doesn't need to fill now, it can fill probably on the earnings date, but Tesla is looking bullish. It looks like it wants to fill this earnings gap. So still I think Tesla from here can still go almost 5.55% is still a possibility. Microsoft did that gap fill. Let's go to 1 hour chart. So it filled the gap, but it created another gap, looks like. So I'll go with this. So today it gapped up and opened another gap. So let's go to daily chart. You can see still not able to close above this, so struggling. Really want to go above this resistance to fill this. If not, it might come down, fill this gap fully, and then go higher. All right, so keep in mind that. Google looking good, looks like it's just following my projection, so this gap is here, so next target is 141.04. See here, that's my next target on Google. And Facebook, 2% move, very aggressive move today, and holding the support line very nicely. Looks like it wants to fill this gap around 322. Amazon flat today, but it already did very aggressive move, so maybe we can adjust this trend line something like this. So we have to adjust based on new data, and now it needs to hold this trend line, or maybe I will do yeah, let's go by this one now. Not the cleanest of trend line, but Amazon is looking good, holding this trend line. Netflix broke this trend line, and I got a sell signal, so I want to see some divergences. Let's go to 1 hour chart. Let's see if I see anything. No, it's very oversold on 1 hour chart. I still want to see some divergences. I don't see them yet, so let's see, like something like this, make a new low with higher divergence. So I don't even have a buy signal, buy dot, so looking very bearish Netflix, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. Looks like there is some news on margin and growth concerns. Now there is a gap here around 380, so from here, if it comes back to fill that gap, it's almost like another 5% down. Okay, so be careful. If it fills this gap, that's going to be a major support. You can see this resistance here, resistance broke out. It might come back to fill this gap and then go higher, so I think it could do this, then go higher. All right, snowflakes, looks like down 1.43%, but this gap is still not filled. So this is what happens every time it gaps up. Somehow these stocks come back down to fill this gap and then go higher. All right, so keep that in mind. NVDA flat and still below this trend line, and yeah, let's see how it goes. 0.21% up. There are gaps here, gap down, so it's in the middle. So maybe it's just consolidating after this massive move up. So if it comes back to fill this gap around 436, that's a good area to buy. AMD down 1%, again very close to this area. This was resistance here, broke out and became support, and now it's still not able to close above this trend line, so it's still waiting. So we'll see how AMD does. And let's look at commodities real quick. Copper, buy the dip, multiple chances to give you to buy it, now looking bullish, so any dips look to buy. Palladium, in this zone, you can see bullish falling wedge with higher momentum on PP and RSI, broke out and then found support here, now going higher. Wheat, good bullish move last couple of days and just consolidating. This is bottom formation, so look to buy wheat on any dips. This is a good area to buy for long-term hold. Corn also making a bottom here, so looks like from bottom forming. You can see new lows on higher momentum on PP and RSI, so everything is looking good. Soybeans also in the buy zone. You can see massive buy zone here, and yeah, looking good. Everything is SUYB is the ETF. Sugar looking like it wants to make a new high, looking very bullish. Sugar, so nothing is bearish here, so be careful shorting sugar. And I think that's about it. I covered most of these, so let's quickly look at zones for tomorrow. Quick trade tomorrow. Let's go to 1 minute chart, and let's extend the extended hours. So these are the zones. So you can see S&P 500 in the sell zone, resistance. So first standard deviation 4508. Nasdaq 100 near sell zone, so 15517, very close to the sell zone here. Dow Jones already in the sell zone near second standard deviation, good area to short. US 2000, which is Russell 2000, was in the buy zone on Wednesday, now came to sell zone, came to second standard deviation. It was very good area to take profits, still in a good area to take profits. All right, on triple Q, these zones are 378 and up, look to short, and 372 and below, look to buy. And let's quickly look at gold. Gold is in the middle neutral zone. Silver is also in the middle neutral zone. Natural gas in the middle neutral zone. Crude oil is in the sell zone. Bitcoin is also in the sell zone. So looks like most of these should be cooling down. Netflix should be in the buy zone. That's the only stock which is in the buy zone. You can see very good time to buy Netflix, in my opinion. But like I told you before, there's a gap at the bottom there, so be careful buying, and everything else is in the middle. So let's quickly look at UPS, up almost 2% near sell zone now. I was telling everybody who watch, I created a special video for UPS, and you can see it's a bottom forming. Looks like it gapped up, So we can put a gap down here. So if I go to 1 hour chart, let me go to regular hours and then auto, and here I think it looks like this was a gap here. So there you go. So it gapped up. So look to buy on this gap, and this trend line is here as well. So I don't think it's going to just go up like that. So it will going to come down, fill this gap, and then going to go higher. All right. And wicks, to end wicks, it's wow, it filled this gap very nice. So if I go to 1 hour chart, looks like it filled the gap, and yeah, looking good. So I can get rid of this. So wicks is making a new low, fill the gap, and making a new low, not yet, a little bit more low, and it's gonna be on a divergence. So that's gonna be, you gotta be careful then, right? PPO is higher, RSI is higher, so wicks is going lower on divergence. So yeah, so going on lower on a higher momentum. So you can still make a new low with momentum higher, so then it's going to bounce. So be very careful. So that means it's a red flag, and seasonality wise, it's bearish month, mid-September to the end of September. So just be careful, look to take profits very soon, put regular stop losses on any profits. Okay guys, oh by the way, if you like these videos, hit the like button, and there is a Discord group in the description of this this video. You can join for free. There's a Discord server, you can chat with me directly, and also if you want any special chat, special requests on any special charts, you can subscribe to my channel and let me know in the Discord group your channel ID or your name and your ID, and I can add you to a special member group where I give special updates and advice stocks to buy. Okay guys, have a good rest of the day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.